Evening, guys, and welcome to another edition of ThreeTings. Hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. The next few subjects that I wanted to speak on were, first off, just rolling back from the last video regarding Yusef and him leaving Reform, and then obviously returning back in a massive U-turn in the space of like a day, 24 hours. Next, obviously I bumped into a future star of the world, sports star. So I wanted to speak on that quickly, and then obviously just ending with a little sort of just speaking about the political spectrum and how I see things. Now, first off, I just wanted to go back to the last video and say, obviously, like I did go in on Yusef and him leaving and so on and so forth, the Reform Party, and I'm going to have to sort of retract a little bit, but not too much, because like obviously like I'm going to put it to you like this, yeah. If say you're Vladimir, you need to be thinking on a global scale, right? Because Yusef, if Nigel Farage is the next prime minister, you're talking about that's someone that's in the cabinet for war, or like some type of major issue. That could be his right hand man, for example. Could be the vice if something happens to Nigel, if he was to become prime minister, if that was the case, right? So it's very serious, and it's a serious subject at the end of the day, although we do like to have a laugh, right? And if you were, say, to compare the opposite numbers that it would be at that level of politics, right? Let's just say, for example, like Vladimir Putin, if you left his party on the Thursday, do you think you'd be coming back on the Friday? Donald Trump, obviously Trump's a bit volatile at the moment, but it's a little bit of a different dynamic. I'm pretty sure if you left his team, like, high probability they might not have you back, especially because there's plenty of people that can fill boots, So that being said, like, it's a serious opportunity, and also as well, like, when you do obviously become a politician of that magnitude, you take a lot of criticism, but obviously, like, that criticism is just sometimes because you've got some big decisions and big ideas and big pivotal shifts in society you're responsible for, so you need to tackle everything, and but obviously, that being said as well, like why I was a little bit disappointed as well was because, like, obviously, like, there's certain subjects, like, for example, I'm thinking if there's something in the black and ethnic community, for example, sometimes like a white face may not be able to convey the message and be the medium that's needed for society, so therefore, like, the faces of colour within one's party is going to be the ones that may have to step to the fore now and again, and someone like that could be the medium in the subject to what we was just talking about, the burqa ban, and also, as well as that, like, for a subject as not trivial, it's very important, but a subject like that is something like your party would need you to stick around for, to usher in or to negate whatever, just to give you advice and be there, like, so, like, you can't leave. This is on a different subject, but on a subject like that, I feel like someone like that is better being in than out, and at the end of the day, like, what's the relation like when you do come back? And at the end of the day, like, he did say he was tired, he needs a break, this and that, so sometimes you may want to take a break, but then just to come back in straight away, I don't know what the relationship's like, but you know, like when the person says they're going, you know, a couple of emails overnight and people calling you and saying don't leave is not, you know, it just means like something weren't right. He wanted it changing. He didn't actually really want to leave. So, you know, we retract a little bit, but at the same time, like, you know, something. I'm glad he did retract, because for something, what he left for, the reason for what he left for. Yes, I guess like it shows who you're really with and what you're about and your spirit and this and that. But at the same time, it's nothing someone should leave for. It should be an issue that is tackled, you know. You know, because all types of subjects are going to come up, and this is just one of them, you know. So, yeah, good to see that the man retracted and he's back in the party, and, yeah, like, just prove himself, and he's a quality speaker at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, like, you know, it's tough. You're never going to be liked. You're never not going to be, you could be hated, but, you know, it's just a tough thing. But it's something that you do sort of take on board, you know, in comparison to where I'm from in life. You know, they get paid handsomely well. They've got a lot of speaking events. You know what I mean? They get looked after, you know, so financially. And, you know, it's a bit like, you know, you've got a professional footballer, you know, if they want time off for the money and what they get in return, you know, you want them to be playing all the time, you know. And also, like, you know, we've got to accept, like, some jobs are not 9 to 5. You know, some jobs are like, it's until the job's done. Some you have to go way and above and beyond the call of duty. And a position in society such as being the head secretary or whatever it is of a political party, you know, it comes in the job detail, right? I would like to think. You know, but that being said, man, everyone's got their limit, and no one really knows what's going on in someone's private life, and also in their mind, you know, and what the real circumstances are behind the scenes. So we just don't know sometimes, you know. But anyway, that's that. Moving on, we bumped into Big Moses Itauma. I tried to not speak about boxing so much, but, you know, I guess I will. And yeah, it was nice to meet the man, you know. I never said nothing to him, never said anything, just took a nice warming picture, you know. And I felt him, and I could tell he's a nice kid, man, nice guy. I call him a kid, he's a big man. But yeah, no, very proud. Another man off the West African conveyor belt, if you know what I mean, in terms of heritage. Although we're all English, right? But yeah, you know. You know, I was saying he's a man. He's still like, I looked at his face, man. He's young, you know, and I'm thinking like there's like I still feel young, but there's a 25, 26 year age gap. So I'm old enough to be this man's father, you know. But you wouldn't think it. But yeah, no, it's good to meet him. And I just wanted to say, man, thus far I've seen a little bit of him, and I'm just very, very, very much impressed. And I'd say to all the big businesses, big marketing, big sponsors, so on and so forth, after Joshua, I would say this guy is the next one. He's the one. He's very marketable. Very marketable. For one, like, he's got the look. Come on, he's got the look. He's got the build, he's got the frame. He's in the right division for boxing. He's a marketer's dream, you know. He's a marketing dream. He's so highly marketable. You're thinking, how do you play it with him, you know? Because like you know, do you throw him in too early, and he can like maybe not fulfill his goals and may not make as much money as possible. But to me, it's written in the stars for him, you know. And also, you know what I mean, I've got to like fly the flag. 2 southpaws standing together is trouble, you know. But yeah, no, I'll just see, if I was a promoter or anything like that, man, I'll just see dollar signs with this kid, you know. You know, either way, man. And to be honest with you, man, he started off great, you know, to be like 14 years of age, 15 years of age. And the stories are that you're sparring like high level professionals and like, holding your own against like people that are going to be fighting for or boxing for world titles and championships. It's amazing. So obviously that's sparring and stuff like that, but he's turned it over to the professional ranks now, and he's going in good stead, undefeated. I think 10 KOs, so out of 12 outings. So brilliant. Very athletic, very skillful. Not just even with the athleticism, he's got good skill base. Which does bode well in the long run. And I just wanted to say, like, how do you play it with this guy? Like, I was listening to Spencer Oliver, and it was like, I was thinking, right, the way they was talking, I was like, right, he'll be like ready for a world title challenge in 2027, but he said 2026, Spencer Oliver. But obviously at 20 years of age, Moses won't know that, but we'll know, heavyweight as well. He's not going to mature for at least his body and everything. He might not mature for another 10 years, So how do you play it, How do you play it? Because heavyweight boxing, like, the chances are, like, you will come unstuck at some point. You may get caught and come unstuck, but that shouldn't deter you. And obviously, the train of thought is to, like, take your time. But then if somebody's ready, you just got to let them go sometimes, So I'm thinking, like, do you just take your time with him? Because this is the route you can take. Now, I'm thinking he's a lot younger than a lot of the current breed of heavyweight. So I'm thinking, like, why should you put him in there with anyone over 5 years older than him? Right? And the science behind that is because those guys are getting older. He's the new breed. If he can just get in there with guys that are his same age range, he'll be the best of that age range. And when those guys retire and come out of the game, once in a while he'll have to meet one of those older guys and more experienced guys. But once they phase out of the game and a new era comes in, he'll be at the top of the perch. He'll be the oldest one, and he'll be the best out of the young breed. So sometimes you ain't got to put him in there with older, experienced guys. Really, just make sure that he's the best in the world for his age going forward, up to 25, 30. And then everyone underneath him will have to wait their turn, and he'll be the older guy. But yeah, you could go that route, or, which I would probably go for, you can go the Anthony Joshua fast track route, where you get him the meaningful guys. I'm not going to say they have limitations, but guys that obviously you think stylistically, you're always going to think that he'll beat, and let him not pad his record, but let him be tested, at different levels. But let him go, and if he loses, he loses. But yeah, just let him go, give him the test, because if he's ready, if something's ready, if he's hot, he's ready, innit? So, and also as well as that, he's a marketer's dream. So I would just you want to get him on the highest possible stage as quickly as possible, because sometimes you keep someone at the same level, they may just overtrain, as he said, and peter out, and then something happens, and then they end up not getting to the top. But he's got the skill level, he's got the skill on his day. So, I would say fast track and get him to the position as quickly as possible. And what you possibly want is, no disrespect, like Anthony Joshua, is a legitimate world champion because he beat the man that beat the man. Even though Tyson Fury might have something to say about that, but he beat a legitimate, high-level, all-time great heavyweight world champion in Vladimir Klitschko towards the end of his career. And that's a legitimate world champion. There's other champions. You've got 4 or 5 different organisations. Sometimes you can pick an easy champion. Joshua picked the best possible champion at the time, and he beat the best possible champion. So that there makes him a legitimate, no matter what you say about Anthony Joshua, he's a legitimate world champion. Yeah. Right. However, to win one of the versions of the world title and to get onto that stage, he faced a guy called Charles Martin. Now, Charles Martin, we haven't really seen much of him since. He's got that famous saying, walk this earth like a god, all the rest of it, But, that's the kind of opponent that you might want someone like him to face. Depending on how it configures itself in the next few years, you'd want him to face on the world title level for a world title, that kind of level. Get in there, get the title, then get, one of the pound for pound, or one of the better guys. By this time, you would think Usyk, Fury, Dubois will still be around, but even Joshua and a few other guys will be past their peaks, possibly, maybe retired, or just people for him to put on the resume. That's how you would look at it. And that's how I would sort of play it with him. There's no point hanging around. Now next I wanted to say, like, the other side of it is this: the man's 20 years of age. Yes, he's moving at an incredible rate, but he doesn't look like that Tyson-esque type of boxer where, like, Tyson was all like athleticism, yes, skill, but he was incredibly gifted and incredibly overdeveloped as a human being, very young, which you don't get too often. Yeah. So he had his man strength very young, right? But Moses, he might not even have that for 10, 15 years. So can you envisage this? Can you imagine this? Right? Yes, we're in 2025 right now, but based on maturity and how old some of these heavyweights are now, like, literally, it's not out of the realms of the imagination that you could be saying this man is a world champion in the year 2045, let alone 2026 or 2020. So you're talking 20 years time. Potentially, this man could still be at the top of the tree because the experience that he would have accrued. Don't get me wrong, like, there's a certain level of damage that a professional boxer can't take, but with the skills he's got, and if he's looked after, he could be there for 20 years. 20 years. 20 years. So double his life, what he's lived now, he could be there for. These guys that are around now won't be there in 20 years' time. Fact. So he's in the driving seat. He's got all that time. He could take 5 years off and come back. You don't do that anyway, but, literally, he can go on a break, replenish his body for less time than that, come back. He's got so much he can do. He can take it each other way. But literally, just because of his age, being 20, he could be a world champion in 2035, 2040. This might not even be his time. Or, because he started so young, imagine that, like, he could be a world champion in the next 2 decades. So it's absolutely huge. On the right track. He's never got to worry about finance. He's never got to worry about marketing and stuff like that. And he's got it made in front of him. But that doesn't mean you've done it, So you've got to keep your feet on the ground as a young man. But at the same time, man, all that keep your feet on the ground, he seems quite mature, but you're a kid, man, sometimes. So sometimes, man, you've got to be immature. You've got to play games. You've got to have your life go up and down. You know what I mean? You've got to have your stuff go on with your life, because you don't want to be too old too soon, So at the end of the day, man, let him go. If he makes a mistake, make a mistake, but he can come back, But, yeah. It's good to see, man, young talent like that, man. It's really, like, good, man. So, yeah, you got, like, so much ahead of you. I would fast track him, see what he can do. And then, if it doesn't go quite right, then just reset the plan, because he's got so much time. So much time. So, just by the order of things, like, he should definitely, along the way, get an opportunity for major honours. That's the least you can say. When you get to the top world level, it's little fine 9 inches, and you don't know sometimes, but it looks good. It looks incredibly good. It looks like more potential than Anthony Joshua ever was, at the age as well. And he's got more experience going in at this level. Joshua might have been at the Olympics, but I think he was only boxing a couple of years. This kid's been in with big guys, so he's nothing's going to worry him in years to come, especially with the professional experience now. So he's got it made, yeah. Now, just lastly about Moses, I want to say, like, I called this section Champion Mindset. Now, I was listening to a man I respect a lot. I listen to a lot. I like what he writes on Instagram, the White Rhino, Dave Allen. I see a lot of lookalikes of you for some reason, Dave. sometimes when I say something, right? But yeah, love, love, love. But like at the end of the day, man, Dave Allen, he was talking, he was saying, oh, he's way off. He can't put him in with the Australian, the New Zealand guy, Joe's, Tyson Fury's, the New Zealand guy that lost to Dillian White. I can't believe his name eludes me now. Very nice guy. Joseph, what's his name? I can't believe his name eludes me now, but the New Zealand world champion that fought Dillian White and, deserves a world title. You know who I'm talking about, right? Yeah. It's how you can't throw him in with him and all this sort of stuff, but to be honest with you, like this guy, with all due respect, he's probably got more potential than Dave Allen. Dave Allen will probably be honest with you. He'll say like, "Oh, I'm a domestic level boxer." Someone like him now, he may think on the track of like, win a regional, win a British title, or get your Lonsdale belt, get your European, get your world title, get your Commonwealth and in between or whatever. But some people, they bypass everything. They bypass those levels, even though they say you have to go through all those levels, right? But some people are that good already, they can bypass it. Yeah. Now, for someone that's going to be a domestic, that's how they think. We'll go like that level, and then if I win a British, I can get a Euro. And if I get a Euro, who knows? I get a world title, who knows? Yeah. But with yourself, it looks like you're going to bypass all of that. So at the end of the day, like, if you're ready, you're ready. Like Dave Allen, no this way, his potential is like sort of like domestic Euro potential world challenger. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's his thing. But your thing, you could be somebody that's like a potential like dominant world champion. And so someone like him now that's like programmed to sort of go in stages or whatever, he'll think, nah, you got to put in the work. You got to do this. You got to do that in stages and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But you look like someone who can just blow it out of the water. Like the top great guys, like they're not textbook and they bypass a lot of the barriers that others have put up in front of them. And the true greats throughout sport, you look at Usain Bolt, like his running technique is not the best, even though he's 6'5", yeah. All the true greats here, they're never ever truly textbook. There's something about them that they're doing incorrectly, or they're doing wrong, or people think they can beat them on, or whatever, or they bypass, they break certain rules, or they don't compete with certain people in certain realms that they should, and you seem to have that. Let's call it X factor. Yeah. So at the end of the day, if your team can see from training and performance that you're ready, innit? And what's the worst that can happen, So yeah, you can have the British European champion mindset, but really, why not start off at the top, man? Have the world champion mindset. Because sometimes, like going through all those levels, like regional, there's a reason you do go through them. But at the same time, by the time you get to your world title, sometimes you can be drained, drawn out, and beaten up. Through like, do you know what I mean? So if you can bypass a level and you've got the ability to maintain it at the higher level, then why not? Why do you want to go and even like get yourself in any problems with like British title level when you're already a world level? So yeah. Be on a world champion mindset is all I say. So that's that. Fly, young man, fly. Big up Moses. Right. So, lastly, we're going to speak on the political spectrum. As I've been going uni, start. I've been studying politics, so on and so forth. And, we talk about the political spectrum and, is someone on the left wing centrist or is someone on the right wing? And, I often I just get confused around all of this because, you know, I asked my lecturer one time, oh, my opinion on this, what would you say? And he said, oh, I'd say that's centre right and all the rest of it. And, you know, I'll just sort of read to you what I've got on the internet. So it says, in political science, the left and right represent opposing ends of a political spectrum, often described as a continuum. Left-wing ideologies typically emphasize social equality, government intervention and progress, while right-wing ideologies prioritize individual liberty, limited government and tradition. So they're saying one side's a little bit freer than the other, whilst the other side conserves and is all about tradition, and just sort of reversing the order, if you know what I mean, right? Now, that being said, man, there are times like this is what gets me, right? Sometimes I don't care whether you're left or right, we're human beings here, right? You've got heating allowance right, infinitely grooming wrong, as I wrote the other day. Yeah, there's no left or right. Yeah, there's right where we know it's right universally, and where it's wrong universally, man. What do you know what I mean? What is this left and right? Because I don't get like why, like if somebody like speaks up a little bit about, for example, grooming. Yeah, like I don't understand. Like that's like wrong. Like, am I not understanding the terminology? Am I not understanding English? Or like you know, like, because I can't entertain people sometimes. Like, what are you not understanding the terminology? Is there some kind of misunderstanding here? Because right wing means to me extreme, like really extreme. Like you just think another set of people need to go, or like just something really, like really abhorrent. Yeah, right. Where you think like other people are better than other people, or something or other. You know, your ideology is just like someone else is a waste of time, whatever. But not for like just like highlighting something that's like universally. If that's something like that happened to a left wing person, a centrist, or a right wing person, they would be like, that's not right. So when you speak up about it, why should that put you in the extreme right? Maybe centre right at the most, but not like in the right just for speaking up. Right, so that's that. Right, next, like another subject like immigration, like everybody's saying like there's a bit of an issue, and like you know just the numbers coming, what you're gonna do, the crime rate going up, and if you mention anything about this, that again compartmentalizes you into the extreme right. Like no, like it's either right or it's wrong, but it's not like this is not an extreme view to me. Like I know, like in comparison to the rest of the world, this country is one of the richest in the world, but the actual citizen, everyday working man, doesn't see it, and they definitely don't feel it. They don't feel like they're the richest in the world. Maybe the elitists or the elite working elite or whatever, they feel like lucky, but the average man like me or yourself walking down the street doesn't feel as such. I'm sorry, you know. So when you speak up about these things, yeah, right, I don't put you in that extreme category, you know, along with like the KKK or maybe extreme religious groups or people that are against like sort of the way people live their lives and so on and so forth. No, you know. So like, yeah, it just really sort of makes me feel about nervous and makes me have trepidation, because for someone that's got a mild form of Tourette's from now and again, it's just like it's made me clam up sometimes, and I don't want to speak out, but I am sometimes, man. But yeah, I'm not. There's to me sometimes on certain subjects there's right and there's wrong, and there's yes and there's no. Simple as that. You cannot tell me speaking up about certain subjects about like a 10-year-old girl getting raped by a 60-year-old man or whatever, and there's 10 of them in a room or something like that, man. It's right or it's wrong. You know, I'm sorry, and like it doesn't make sense. It's not like the terminology is all wrong. It's arse upwards. Like it's not like I don't understand you when you say like that's an extreme view or something like that. And if you do say it, because when you say the word extreme or it's right wing, it has the effect of silencing somebody when you say that to them. I've felt it like as well, like, you know, and nah, nah, nah. That's like, because things like that, yeah, that's like the makeup of your society, and it's also the make and break of your society. If you're saying something like that is extreme, then to me you are extreme. And then you're gonna be able to, like, if you're saying that's okay to go, and someone shouldn't really mention things like that, then where is society going if someone like you is holding power? If you think it's not, you shouldn't question something like that. It's dangerous, like very dangerous, man. And it doesn't bode well for the future, you know. Because if you let that go, then people are free to do lots of other things, you know. So, that being said, this concludes my episode of ThreeTings. Just once again, we covered the Zia Yusef situation. Good to see him back, but at the same time, man, you don't leave for subjects such as this. That's something that he should be at the forefront of for his party and tackle accordingly. And he's one of the better people for it, I would say. Yep. Next, obviously, Big Moses. Good luck. Not that you need it. There's no such thing as luck in professional boxing, I would say. You know, you earn it, you make it, you know. But I wish you nothing but the best. Nothing but the best. All right. And yeah, you see Eastern European women. See, that's why. You know what I mean? If I I shouldn't say anything silly, should I? Do you know what I mean? See what straight action gets you? Yeah, nice and straight. Right. Anyway, I know what to do. Anyway, then obviously we had the immigration and right left wing, where obviously I've just explained that so you understand that. And yeah, that's it. That's me done. Had a nice day down Richmond. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, feeling nice, feeling good. Yeah, love to absolutely everyone. And once again, deliver this message straight to your heart because it's from mine. One.